Nick's pens bleeds dark romance, psychological thrill, and emotional chaos. And I emphasize on that emotional chaos. All wrapped up into seductive storytelling that keeps us hooked. From twisted selection to distorted obsession, her work is a playground for danger, desire, and depth. So let's get into it.
Wow, that was a good intro. I was like, oh, who is she? She sounds nice.
Yo. Now, for all y'all that's on here and y'all don't know PHNX, we're gonna go through her catalog. We're not gonna go too in depth, but we're gonna go through her catalog because I want you to understand why she has always had me like, what the fuck and what the fuck. Every time I read a book from her, it's like, what the fuck. All right. So you describe yourself as a lover of morally great heroes and kick-ass heroines. Let's start there. What draws you to the gray? Why not black or the little white area in between?
The world isn't black and white. I feel like
Mm.
there are lots of binary symbiotic connections, but life is splashed with gray all over the place. And when you think, right, like you have those people who are like, I would never. And then you're put in that situation and you're like, I guess I would. so so it's just that sometimes, right, the guy or the girl that seems like they're the bad guy in the situation, for lack of better terms, they actually might be the right fit. And then sometimes the so-called good person is evil as shit. So um yeah, so I think that's really what it is. And I say morally gray, but my characters are.
Yeah, morally gray is just stretching it just a little bit, just a little bit.
Tiny bit, tiny bit.
So, for readers who might not know, how would you define morally gray characters versus a bully romance type character? Where do they intersect and where do they part ways?
That's a good question. You came out swinging early. So I mean, I think it just situational, right? Like, I think of Edgewood, uh, even though I don't really call those guys morally gray either. But I think it's just the dynamic of the story, what's happening, what's going on, the interaction between the characters. Like I think I think I say Edgewood is more of my morally gray because it's gonna probably be the lightest, sweetest story that I ever write, which says a lot, right? So just in terms of like in terms of chaos and things that can happen, and um so I don't
Yeah,
know.
the fact that you just said that, what the fuck?
I mean,
um,
I say that just because like distorted is so different, and it was I guess it was darker than I thought it was, but I'm broken inside, so I was just like, bye. People are like, please, your mental health matters. It does matter.
oh
I didn't think
god,
it was dark as these warnings are.
look, look. So with darker characters, there's always like that fine line. Too far, and the story becomes pitch black and loses its heart. How do you personally make sure you never cross that particular line, even when writing the most ruthless characters? Because you,
argue that I argue that the heart doesn't disappear when it's pitch black.
mm,
Mainly because the reason, right? Like, I think the level of darkness and what happens in a storyline is sometimes you have to go through the ugliest, darkest periods of your life to
mm.
come out on the other side. So, um, I don't have a line.
I know you don't. Your
I
shit.
don't have a line. I just think like maybe redemption, or I don't know. I blur with those
That's
words
what you
too,
call
but
it. That's what you calling it.
I think that's what I'm going with. That's the answer I'm sticking to. But
Ma'am,
I,
I don't even like dark romance like that, but I've read all of your books, and this shit is not even dark romance. This she really be fucking your head up. Cause I ain't even gonna get into the one yet about with her and Celeste Knight, because that's a whole nother fucking can of worms. That's a whole
yeah.
nother mind fuck.
I
What?
just like to write the stories that make you question everything.
What makes writing a great character satisfying to you? Like, is it you said something about the redemption, like the redemption arc, or is it the chaos or the emotional unraveling that happens between them and your heroine?
It's all of those. Why choose? I think it is and it's not just like the main characters, right? Like I think of Samantha and being able to write a
Ugh,
character that everybody hates so much, so
I fucking
viscerally,
hate
means I
her.
did a really, really good job, right? Like she didn't fall flat. You so I just want to be able to make people disappear into the world that is in my books and like really like hold on tight and experience the different mindsets of all the characters that have a voice within the storyline.
Mhm.
So I just enjoy exploring the complexity of like the human psyche, which is fun.
So let's talk about Ashwood Academy Elites. You have four books. It's the Twisted Selection, Ruthless Rejection, brutal fuck revelation, and beautiful beautiful accession.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean. I don't know if I said it right. So the series begins in with them in high school, like it's their last year of high school, right?
Yes.
It begins with them in their last year of high school that evolves into college life. How did you manage that natural aging up process for the characters while keeping their voices and trauma authentic?
Um. Hmm. That's another really good question. These are so thought provoking.
I read the
I think.
books.
I think what it is, it's just like Araya was so easy to write, right? Like Araya was me, the adultified kid who has to be mature far, far beyond the time that they should have to, for whatever reason. And I think being able to tell the story of her being underage but having such adult responsibilities was it made it easier to like kind of transition her up because she was already like in her head she was already as an adult because she was responsible for three kids with an absent mom and a in question location of father, right? And so she had to make it work in a brand new town. She had to make sure no one would would recognize that they were parentless at the time, right? So um and then you add that to a bunch of rich kids who, let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, they're unsupervised because they're just out doing things because their parents are doing whatever rich parents do, right? Like
Yeah.
off to business meetings or like spa days, who knows? But they're creating their own chaos and have to be adultified in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was that dynamic and the level of maturity that allowed them to go from high school to college so seamlessly.
And
Yeah,
not to mention all the drama, sex, and lies, and secret societies, and
that's the fun part.
Lord. So you gave us Wes, Sebastian, Wyatt,
Owen and Lev.
Lev, Owen. You gave us the Secret Society, the Fraternists, Samantha, old bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of strong personalities. There's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of emotional layers. How do you weave that many elements together without losing the heart of the story or overlapping their arcs?
Really good notes. No, seriously though, like for Twisted Selection, I just wrote it off vibes. Like I wrote what I wanted, and usually with the first book, you have a lot more wiggle room. You can go in different directions. You can create the character arcs and such, and who they are. Now, I did have like personality ideas for each character, but I kind of allowed their voice to come through in the first book and then took time when I was writing the second book to really like lay out the parts of them and what they would and wouldn't do. So by the time I got to the last book, um, Wes, everybody loves Wes, big pain in the ass, right? Um, he was always right. He always had a chip on his shoulder. He was just
Mhm.
angry at the world for whatever reason and just a jerk because Wes. And so I found myself as I was getting closer to the end of Beautiful Ascension, right, when certain things changed, that he was getting too nice.
Mm.
I was like, uh-uh. And so I had to go back and change it. And it's not that he couldn't soften, right? Because he could soften for her, but he still had a job to do, and that was keep her safe. And if he had to
Mhm.
choose between keeping her safe and having her angry, he'd prefer her for her to be angry.
Yeah.
And so being able to be true to that, and they have that love hate relationship that is really spicy. So
Mm. So topics like bullying, anxiety disorders, torture scenes. My God, the torture scenes, kidnapping. Once again, secret societies are so heavy in this series. What what's your process for balancing um the darkness while still keeping readers emotionally invested and not overwhelmed?
mm.
I don't know
um,
how. Before you even start, I don't even know how you did that because I was overwhelmed regardless. Regardless.
um, I think it's just like wit. I'm a witty person in real life, so I crack jokes and I have dark humor, which means I crack jokes at things I probably shouldn't be cracking jokes at, but it works for me. So like that's essentially how I like. They're in sometimes in like it'll be like the craziest moment, and then you have Owen say something silly or Wyatt do something silly. A lot of the time in Distorted Obsession, those moments were necessary to kind of give the reader a breath of fresh air to kind of be like, okay, which is when I'd throw in a party, and um, the party is still part of the storyline. Like it connects. I don't just throw it in for no reason. But those moments allow for characters to kind of loosen up and have a good time and not be in like this constant state of dread,
Hmm.
which allows the reader themselves to also have those moments. It doesn't mean I'm not going to throw curveballs. It just
Hmm.
means I'm being kind of nice right now.
The series deals with control and manipulation as well in a way that feels very psychological. Was there a personal or research based like approach you used to build the mental realism for each character?
Yes, there's lots of research. It's so funny. I was just talking to one of my author friends about current character I'm writing. She's very philosophical. It's how she grounds herself. And
Hmm.
so she'll go on like these philosophical rants of certain things. And so I was sitting and I was like, I just had to do like some research to be like, which psychologist would I mention and which sociologist would I mention that have the biggest impact that da da da. And I'm just going, I don't know if this is the process for everybody, but I have a research background. Um, my degree is in that, and so I'm also just really nosy. Like I need to know the why of everything. So I can't just have a character do something without the why, right? Like I'm writing a Halloween novella, and before I could jump in, I was like, they need a back. Like why? Why are they doing this?
Yeah.
And so backstory is super important to me because I think motivation is a very big driver of personality and like story of character. And so having having an understanding of who they are and what
Mhm.
motivates them is really helpful in writing the story.
Okay. So let's talk about Wicked Games. Jesus.
Shh, let's not talk about it.
Yes, let's talk about Wicked Games because you are. I told you when you came out with this, where the fuck is book two coming? Y'all are playing. So,
So, Wicked
all right,
Games.
all right,
It
here goes.
is. It's actually going to be the first time I actually mention this. The book will be pulled at the end of the year, and it's going to go through some revisions, and then through those revisions, you will get the entire story. My co-author has stepped back from writing, and so I want to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But I never want to leave a reader being like, you're supposed to write more and not finish the storyline. It also would like probably gnaw at me for eternity if I
It's
didn't
gonna
close it
gnaw
out.
at us for eternity because the book
Yeah.
was so good. It was giving Wicked Games was giving Saw but sexy. It was
Yes.
giving mind fuck but uh Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
All wrapped into one. So how did that collaboration even come about and what was the creative chemistry between you two to write something that diabolical?
It's crazy because it came from a live. We were doing a live, and I don't know, I was probably supposed to be paying attention to something that was in the conversation, and I completely went somewhere else, and I was just like, see, we should write a Halloween novella. And so she was like, okay. And that's how it started. And then when we sat down to talk about what we wanted to do, we knew we wanted to do something Southern Gothic,
Mm-hmm.
because one, it's not done very often, and I thought it would be fun if we, set it in Louisiana, because why not? That's like, it's like the place of, is this real or not real? And then I just remember going, we should do twisted plays on recess games. and, and that's really like, that's genuinely like, even in other books, I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, this would be fantastic. And I go, I don't think this is how normal people think about things, but that's how my brain works. So that's really what it was. And like the characters, we thought again, right? Like when you have a heavy storyline, you have the jokesters and they do things and they make you laugh, even though you probably should be like, this isn't normal, but you're along for the ride and it's too late.
The whole alligator situation, crocodile, alligator, I don't give a shit. That whole situation was a fucked up situation.
I apologize.
That was some
Not really
twisted
though.
shit. That in itself was some twist. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. When I wrote it, I was just like, it has to be from her POV, and she has to be alive.
That was some twisted. Not to mention all the tests they had to go through. Let's talk that pool shit. Girl, that novella was so gory and horrific. I was like, hell?
Yeah, and that the crazy part is like that was like fun. That was like fun writing. That was like, this is a great time. I'm not. It's bad. I can't tell you how many times I laughed writing that. And again, I say that's why I'm like, I know something. Like
You laughed?
I laugh all the time when I'm writing scenes that probably shouldn't make me laugh. Um, Danielle will tell you. I do. I laugh at things that I'm like, well,
Lord.
this is probably questionable behavior, but it doesn't matter.
So when you say that you're gonna pull it, and tell Celeste we wish her well, but when you say you're gonna pull it and you're gonna add more to it, so is this gonna be a remake of book one? That's gonna be a series, or is this just a remake of book one just so it can complete it?
So it will be a continuation of the novella. The novella was always supposed to be a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't sure if it was going to be a solo dolo or if it was going to be a duet. So once I sit down and like get everything in order, I'll have a better sense of what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I am focused on a few other projects first that I have to get completed, but it is coming down, and then from there make some adjustments, and then I'll make an announcement officially when I know the path forward. But it's gonna get finished. It has to. I can't. My brain would not allow me to say we
That
cannot.
is one of my anticipated reads from you right there. That
Yeah,
because the way you left it off,
I know. Celeste did a fantastic job with that the epilogue. It was just
I was
it
just
was
like, "What you mean?
yeah,
I thought she got away."
it's fantastic. Diabolical. I love it. Every moment of that book. Like this is
So
fun. So fun ride.
let's move along to Distorted Obsession.
Yeah.
This is going to be a trilogy, right?
Yes. It was supposed to be a solo, then a duet, and then I was like, after book one, they need book two. There's no way I can make this work in two
Because the
books.
cliffhanger is diabolical.
I know. And I want you to know that like I had the cliffhanger before I had the opening. And I sat on that, told no one what I was doing.
That shit was diabolical.
I was just like, this is
Diabolical.
the perfect way to end this. And I was like, and people are gonna come for me, and I'm just gonna laugh because I I don't know.
So how do you mix, like, you had a lot of mental health issues going on, and you some of them was like beautifully healed type things, then it was some of them was like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
the couch
Because
ain't big enough for y'all.
yeah, because healing isn't it's not a straight path, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there are detours on the way. You kind of reverse. You go get off at the wrong exit. You fall down some steps. So the healing journey is messy. And so I needed to be, real and true to that. And I also wanted to be able to show, like I tell people all the time, like one of the things about the book, which is in I think the author's note, is that I just wanted people to feel seen because there are often times when people are going through things and they don't feel seen, and they're not
Mm.
feeling themselves seen in a book. And I can't tell you the amount of people who were just like, oh my goodness. And I like cried. I didn't cry when I was writing. I cried when people were like telling me how they like loved the book and what it meant to them, and I
Yeah.
was just like, that's so nice. But it's just I wanted to show the rawness of what healing looks like, and I also wanted to like kind of juxtaposition like mental health
Mm-hmm.
and um kind of wealthy kids, like the assumption that because you have money you must be happy, or
Mm-hmm.
that because your family is amazing that you must be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the honest part of that is that that's not true, right? Like mental
Mm-hmm.
health, it doesn't care. It doesn't care who your family is, how much they love you. It's internal. And do external forces impact that? Yeah. But it's 100% like it's an inward battle.
Mm-hmm. Did you
So
expect that it was supposed that it hit so many people emotionally so hard?
I mean, I knew it was going to be heavy because the prologue made me cry. Like I had to step away. um so I knew it was going to be an emotional book, and then on top of that, and then I did that diabolical cliffhanger at the end, and I was just like I might need to go into witness protection. Um because it was Eva's story was like it was so beautiful, and she's so beautifully broken, and the things that she's like survived, right? And because I that was the other thing, right? I wanted people to recognize that um people who survive are not they're not weak, right? They get up
Nah.
every single day and they keep going. And so the journey to find the strength to take that step forward and be your most authentic self starts with survival, because if you can't survive, then you don't get to make it to that step. So that was one of the other really important messages, was just like I need people to understand Eva's story. Eva's story is wrapped up in my story. She's wrapped up in the stories of friends that I've lost. And like the pain is real, it's raw. And that's part of the reason why it felt so real, because it was. I can't tell you how many therapy sessions I had about that book. So
You first, I'm still gonna say that ending diabolical, but you blend trauma, mental health, love, obsession in a way that is almost poetic and painful. How do you approach writing mental health in dark romance responsibly, especially when the relationships themselves are morally messy?
that's a good question. And the answer to that is just really carefully. I have sensitivity readers. I asked my therapist. My editor happens to be a psychology professor. So I don't know. It was like the trifecta. Everything just that lined up, and then you have your personal experience, and then all the years of sociology and psychology, and the jobs that you've worked with because I used to work with teenage girls in the group homes and real life stories, real life trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You couple that with like I have a teenager. She also is going through things and her friends are going through things. So it's
Mm-hmm.
you get to see the world through the eyes of different people and through their stories you realize that there's a way to tell it without trying to like monetize off of it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
um I want it to be as respectful to the story and the pain and the trauma that all my characters had in this book. And so it was not about sensationalism. It was about real being like as real as possible. And I was very proud of what it was when it was done, which is part of the reason it took so long because I couldn't just step my foot on the gas and go.
Yeah.
It had to be crafted with love.
Yeah. The story reads like an intersecting path that somehow flows seamlessly, you almost. Um how how do you map that level of complexity? Are you a plotter? Are you a discovery writer, or a bit of both?
Yeah, I consider myself a planter.
Yeah.
Um because I leave room for discovery, but I have to
Mm-hmm.
have an outline.
Mm-hmm.
And the outline becomes even more important because of right, like there's the Gnos universe, and in that are different worlds. Like Edgewood was a world, Distorted is a world, like and Distorted is like an offshoot of Edgewood. So,
Mm-hmm.
mapping and keeping pieces connected. I can't imagine like what it's like if I'm 10 books in and I'm like, oh wait, what did Wes say to so and so that connect? So I have to have it written down places. So I have detailed outlines. And there is a section for like crossovers, so I can write the chapter and what happens in the scene, so I don't have to go like digging forever
Yeah.
into books. I can be like, this is where that happened.
Yeah.
um but I like room for discovery. Like I wrote a chapter last week that was supposed to go one way, and then my FMC was like, nah, I need to get this done first, and I was like, all right, fine, let's go.
So, can you give us a little tease or a hint of what's coming next in the next book?
For Distorted,
Yes.
chaos.
Right.
Yeah, I can give you. I mean, listen, this is not meant to be like a gotcha moment. Eva's alive, right? It's just it's complex, and there's going to be a journey, and book 2 is all about that journey and about all of their healing, while dealing with the bigger bads that are in the storyline. So, um, but yeah, it's gonna be chaos. I think that's the only way to explain it. I already have the ending in my head already. I know where I'm going.
Wait. Wait. You and endings, unless it's the final book, I already know it's about to be some bullshit.
It is. It is. That's why I'm like, at this point, people should just anticipate it. Like,
Yo, if she don't say it's a standalone, it's literally some bullshit. You
these
about to
are
be
not
mad as hell.
standalones. There's ways to like be like, but is this really the end? It might be, but it might not be.
See, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. So let's talk about the one that you're about to release September 1st, which is Bloody Vengeance. How you say that? Karis?
Oh, Karis Origins.
Karis
Yes.
origin story.
I'm
All right.
super, super excited for this book. This one is also
Congratulations
super
on your
good.
soon to be new release. Can you
Thank you.
tell us what we can expect from this one?
Um, so there are no game, sort of games, but not really games. I'm just thinking like the only way that I can explain this is female rage, femgore. Um, we have a masked FMC and a masked MMC, and it's Halloween and it's time to go hunt for revenge. Um, the storyline is it's fun. It's fun. Like, listen, the prologue itself, I was like, oh, we went there fast. I was doing the like I try and keep up with tropes and content warnings from the very beginning. And so my author friend who read it and she was giving like when she was listing them, I was like, but this is just a prologue. Like that was it. It was just a prologue. and I and the it was a lot. It was a lot. The book is wild. It is fun. It is wild. It is steeped in like badassery. I love Tati. Her story is while it's tragic. The like the premise of this series is DC villainesses, yeah. Where like I
Like Harley
take
Quinn?
yeah, so Tati is Talia al Ghul. And so I take their story and flip it on its neck and kind of do something different, but try and still be true to their character. And then they're assassins, so they go
I love a
do
female
what they do.
assassin.
Yeah.
So, what's different about this particular story as far as like the ethos and the horror and the revenge, or is it just really something totally different even for you?
I don't know if it's totally different for me because of all my experiences.
I'm dead.
uh, I I will say that it's gonna be it's different because it is intentionally like Wicked Games was they intended for bad things to happen, but it was more like they were doing like the characters were doing it to each other. You know, they played tug of war or they played burn, and in this book it is hands on. There's no like game here. She has a barbed wire bat and she uses it. You know, so
Right?
yeah, because she likes the direct unaliving, I guess, for a better sense of words. So it is fun. Like I think it's a fun time. I wouldn't want to be a character in the book, but it's a fun time. So,
Wow. So, how does Bloody Vengeance connects thematically or emotionally to your previous works? Is there a signature PH Nix darkness that ties all your books together?
mhm. So all these books are in the Nos universe. And you do see this is they're Easter eggs, and the Easter eggs become more visible as you keep reading because there's signature pieces and sayings that happen. And you're like, wait, I've seen that somewhere. Um, and so yeah, it is there. These books are interconnected, not interconnected that you have to read this in order to understand that. It's preferred because you do get a lot of information in Edgewood, right? Like it is that is supposed to be the foundation of the universe that builds out. And what happens is, without I can't really say much, but at the end of Beautiful Ascension, there's some stuff that happened, and you find that the people that are needed to be there have their own stories, so their own world. I can't get like there's too much stuff offline. I can tell you offline.
Wait a minute. You said Beautiful Ascension to Edgewood
Yeah.
at the end?
Hmm.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. You're okay. Which the end of Beautiful Ascension? You're saying some of that is gonna be in this.
It literally sets up the connection. It like it sets the connection to each world. You see how it connects back to Beautiful
Now I
Ascension.
gotta
So
go back and read because I don't think
yeah.
I don't think what you just said is really what you just said
Hmm.
because in in Beautiful no no
When you get there, you'll be like, "Oh," and I'll be like, "Yeah, see."
no wait a minute because I clearly remember how that ended.
Hmm. You'll
No
see it. You'll see it. I
no
promise. I promise you'll see it. And like distorted, right? You met Colt and Coop in I think they in Ruthless, right?
wait
And
wait a
so all
minute.
the characters are they're popping up. You just and I do it in a way that it's not like a regurgitation of the same scene that you were just like you read. It's a different point of view. And you might get like an intro from a different place, or it might end in a different place than it did in the book that you first saw it in. So, and the motivations are different. It's listen,
Because you brought in and then they wait a minute.
right? You read King, right? That was in that Valentine's Day antho. I feel like you read it.
I didn't read the
Okay, yeah. In the antho is you remember King from Edgewood, right? Like
I
the
remember that.
right. So his story connects back to Edgewood too. Like they just everything just connects in like this beautiful
I'm gonna have to refresh because
twisted fun ride.
I know. I just know because the I just know. And this, I when that book come out again? September 1st. I just know.
It'll be out before then. It's right now it says September of next year. It'll be out. I won't say the official date, but it will be out in October. I'm just trying to finish the last of the parts. So
See, you are one of those authors that just drive me nuts. Nuts, I swear. What do you think makes a PH Nick's world stand out in that crowded dark romance space?
um I don't know. I just try to write the books that I want to read that I feel like as a dark romance reader myself, like
Mhm.
and I do mean all ends of the spectrum. So it's like some so pitch black that you're like, oh, this probably shouldn't be consumed by anyone with any ether. Um, to sometimes those sweeter romances. So, but I love dark romance. And after years and hundreds, and I do mean hundreds of books, there are like themes that I recognize that weren't happening. Like in Edgewood, one of the biggest things I would notice is that these are guys that are all supposed to be like alpha males, but they all follow one dude, and I'm like, why would they do that? and, and so and so I had a cast of characters where some liked her immediately, some were lukewarm to her,
Mhm.
and the others are like, absolutely not will I ever. Because that to me made sense. And then the way the story is told, it's it's how my brain works. I have no idea. I don't really know how it stands out other than I write stories that I want to read, and that I also try and stump myself, which I think is
Mhm.
what happens in the book because
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that I wouldn't read this and be like, oh, I know who this is already. So
So what's the biggest lesson you've learned as a writer in this genre? Like, what is one of the biggest lessons as an author of color in this genre writing dark romance?
Um, write your story.
Mm-hmm.
I think write your story. Um, I know there are people who like write to market, write your story. What you want to sit down and write, and I say this recognizing that I did write stories that I want to write, probably because I read in the genre that I was writing in, which gives me some privileges into the like the mindset of what a reader would want, because I myself was a reader or am a reader. Um, and also take it take it slow. Don't scale up too fast, right? I was watching CM Stunich made a video about writing the entire series, and that's something that I'm also going to start implementing. I'm just going to write the series and then cut, and then they'll be ready to go. So I'm not racing to end a book. The book is
Mm-hmm.
waiting on me to release it. That's, I think,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really like that, because indie authors don't always get the grace.
Mm-hmm.
I said it before. I was like, I remember having to wait 2 or 3 years to get a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
and and as a reader, I am absolutely like, oh my god, hurry up and write the next one. But as an author, I understand that
Yeah.
one, life happens, right?
Yeah.
Like outside of being authors, we have lives, and obligations to like and family obligations or other responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you just need rest, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so being able to have books waiting to be released takes a lot of the pressure off of me, particularly because I hate deadlines. Like the
Mm-hmm.
minute you give me a deadline, my brain goes, or we could not do that. The only place a deadline ever like really is concrete is at work. I think I lit like even then I'm just like, just don't tell me when. I'll just do it now. I don't know what that is.
So, what would you like to see more of when it comes to Black authors writing in dark romance, bully romance, morally gray fiction? Because a lot of times, unfortunately, when a Black author writes in those genres, it's like, what you doing here? Why are you writing that? And that comes from in house and outside sometimes. And they'll say, why you what you doing here? That's not the genre you're supposed to write in. You're supposed to write in this particular genre or this particular genre, but not that. So, what would you like to see more of?
Um, Going for it, right? Like I think I know I listen, I know, I hear it. I understand that there are readers out there, particularly, black readers that want to just see black joy. They want to see black women winning. I love that. But that's not what I write. They eventually win, like eventually. All you I can guarantee you that all of my characters will go through hell before they get to their happily ever after. Like
Mm,
I, that it's just it there is a beauty that is pain that builds you up, that leads to like life. And I get it, I understand, like life is really hard and sometimes you do need that, like,
mm-hmm.
black girl magic, she just wins, and I'm here for that. um those aren't the stories that I write, because I don't know. I think if I ever tried to sit down and just write a sweeter romance, it somehow I would
I
like
will ask you. I will have to DM you and ask you, "Are you okay?"
it would not last. I promise you, because I'd immediately be like, oh, what if they were a serial unaliver on the low? Like my brain just immediately sees things and goes, oh, but what if it's this and it's a twist? Like my default setting is that. So it's I don't know, but I mean I do think I would love to see more authors of color in the dark bully space. I'd love it.
Yeah.
I would gobble it up. And there are a lot, but there can definitely be more.
I do think it should be more black authors in the dark romance space. And I know a lot of people can't tell the difference between morally gray bully romance, pitch black, or taboo. They'll just lump them all up together. But I feel like they really lump it up together when a black author do it. It's like
Yeah.
they're tapping your hand like you know better than writing that.
Yeah, I would feel like my mom talk pitches my books to people, and like if my mom is okay with it, I think I'm good. Like,
Your books are
right?
diabolical regardless.
Like, like so. My family is very supportive, and I know that in and of itself
Mhm.
is also a privilege.
Yeah.
My sister has to be the first one to buy every book that I have that goes live. Has she read any of them? No. Will she? Also, probably no. They're not her jam, but she will be first, and if she's not, I will never hear the end of it. So, um, but yeah. So like, I think it's important to you can lean into dark spaces and still find joy. Like you can
Mhm.
still find your way to that joy, and I'd love to see more authors willing to take that chance. Now this also requires readers to be willing to take that chance, because
Mhm.
I think that's where distorted is so hard for me, right? Like the characters are multiracial, multicultural, multidimensional, very complex. This is more like a psychological thriller than it is. One of my friends kept telling me it's like Euphoria meets what is it, 13 Reasons Why, and I was just like, oh,
I
I
can
haven't read either
concur.
of those, but
I
I
can
can see that.
concur. I can concur. Yep.
So,
Yep.
being like having that type of plot, and I also recognize that it's the first in a trilogy, and it does.
Mhm.
I'm very honest. I say it up front. I was like, I know that ending was mean, but I'm also not
Wait,
apologizing for
you
it.
said it was mean? That's the word you're using for that. You're using mean for that?
Mean is a good description.
PH. Please stop. Please. Please. I
I
stick
can't.
by diabolical. I stick by it.
Diabolical is fantastic of an answer. I'm not gonna lie. Like I, when I'm talking to my PAs, and I'm just like, I got another inbox. And every review that I've read, all they keep talking about is that ending, and I was just like, job done, job done.
What the fuck? So let me ask you this. On the flip side, what would you like to see less of in how this genre treats black creatives and POC and their characters?
I'd like to see less judgment.
Mm,
Um, it's hard because representation matters. I think that you should absolutely have representation. But I do think there's room for um, other authors to have representation, as long as they take the care
mm,
and understanding of the community that they're trying to represent,
mm,
and recognizing that they're not the voice of the community,
mm,
but they're appreciating that community's world, and they're bringing attention to it, but they're not the voice. And I think if you can create a world where you can write authentically beautiful, culturally diverse worlds, then you'll see it more often. But it's hard because there's so many silos that are just like, you can't write this and you can't write that. Now, granted, there are some things that you it's not your place, it's not your place, and you have to recognize and respect that. Um, but it's hard to write stories that are representative if you tell people they can't write stories that are representative. And it's hard to have that authentic voice. I grew up in like we live in a global society. The world it's not all white, it's not all black. It's full of culture and love and joy, and there's such rich stories that could be told if people could appreciate those cultures. Not appropriate, but appreciate, because there's a major difference, and not try and monetize off of struggles that are not your own. And that's where I think a lot of people get messed
mm,
up. um but I'd love to see more representation. I'd love to see more openness and willingness to authors who are trying, right? Like I am always looking for sensitivity readers within the community that I'm writing the book about. Like for Distorted, I I worked had somebody who is Moroccan, right? Like doing the I'm gonna mess it up. Darja. There we go.
Mm.
Uh, Fortuna, if you are in this live and I said it wrong, I'm sorry. I always get caught up sometimes, but Darija, I think that's it. But to be like, I like to be authentic. I don't think I've to date I haven't written one book that doesn't have something in another language. And I just realized that the other day, and I was just like, I have a glossary in every book I've ever written. But that's important, right? Like when you read the Russian or when you read mafia romances, right? And they're talking in Russian or Italian, nobody's like, oh my God, why are you talking like they're reading the story. So why can't that be embraced by other languages from other cultures?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Okay. So, what's next for you? Like, besides your upcoming release, what other releases you have in the pipeline? Any special edition books or book signings that you are going to be at next year? Let us know.
So I will, yeah, I'm at a signing this month. At the end of the month, I'm going to Spellbound in the Valley in Poughkeepsie. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun.
Where the fuck is Poughkeepsie?
New York, upstate New York.
Oh, I was in there like, what the heck? You just spoke a whole different language. I was like, what country is that? Like,
No, it's upstate New York. So I'll be at a signing there at the end of this month, and then no more signings until March. And in March, I will be in NOLA, and I am so excited for Shadows and Seduction. I will have some special editions at that signing, announcements for that at a later date and time. I Distorted has a special edition. I actually have it here because they came in and they're so pretty.
oh my God. PH, how can someone like myself get this book?
Oh, just message me. I'll open up because I closed the form, but I can open it back up. I do have copies. I will be bringing them to signings. But I will let you know. Yeah, they're gorgeous. I love them so much. They did such a great job. I partnered with Spiced for this, and so
can I see that again?
Yeah. It's the hands, right? Like you see the hands holding the rose.
Oh my God, that is so pretty.
Such a freaking fantastic job on this. Like all the foiling isn't like the best places.
That is so pretty. Wow.
Yeah.
That is so dope. I like that. Are you gonna have character art?
Yes. I just had some character art done for this current story, but I do have some stuff lined up for Distorted. News to no one. Why choose romances are a lot more expensive to get character art done than MF books. I learned that because this book is my first like real MF outside of King's book, but I was just like, I can.
Why choose Queen?
I love because literally, like, let's be honest, that 80-20 rule disappears when you have multiple. Like, you can get your 80-20s everywhere, and then they end up equaling 100 at some point or fashion, right? Like,
that's the philosophy.
That is my philosophy, right? Like when you hear everybody talks about that 80-20 rule, you're gonna leave the 80 for the 20. I'm like, or we can just all hang together.
Wow. Okay.
I hate choosing.
So, will there be any more merch drops, or do you have a Patreon where you have exclusives, or do you have a Facebook group or something like that?
I do have a Facebook group. I also have a link tree. In my link tree, there is a merch store, and there is lots of really fun. Like this hoodie that I'm wearing is Groton. It's got the characters on it. And then I don't have any other things near me. I have a blanket on my bed. But they're canvas bags, and one of them says like one of my favorite things is my therapist blocked me, so now I read dark romance, and I just think that's hilarious. So
So, where can readers find your books, and how can they connect to you on social media or whatever?
I'm on all the socials except for that X one. Um,
I think
no,
nobody should be on the extra.
I'm not on that one.
That
But
ain't
I
even
am.
a social anymore. That's a corn site.
I don't know what it is. I'm just like, I'm okay. So I'm on Threads, Instagram, TikTok. I think Lemon 8. I think the other one's called Blue Sky. I don't know. Some of them I'm just on because they exist, and I was told I should be there, and I've never opened them since downloading the app. But I'm on it. But TMI books, they're on Amazon. Special editions will be direct sales through me or through a book box if I'm partnering. Um, and I think I answered those questions. Where can you
Okay.
find me? You probably can't. I'll be hiding because I'll be writing. So I'm getting in trouble for not writing on time.
So, I'm going to do your outro and I'm going to say two announcements and then we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
All right. So, PH Nix, thank you for stepping into my world. Your worlds may be dark, but they shine with complexity, passion, and power. To all the people that came by and stopped by and saw your comments, when I get wrapped up into an interview, if you haven't already, grab your copy of all her goddamn books, not just one, all of them, because you will not be disappointed. And prepare to question your moral compass, fall for the villains. Cause yeah, you're gonna fall for the villains. Cause they really not villains, but they villains. But yeah. And cheer on the heroines who fight back harder. They not no punk bitches. They ain't getting ran over. You know what I'm saying? So follow her everywhere, and don't forget to follow me on all my platforms here on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you find me on Facebook, that's because that's my government name. So I'm not gonna tell you. she has redefined what it looks like when it comes to dark romance and why choose, and add a little horror and gore to the mix as well. Until next time, keep reading stories that make your heart race and your soul ache. Like I always say, stay love, stay loud, and stay black on motherfucking purpose. All right. Now, the two announcement. Boozy Book Tour is going to be next weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You still have a chance to get tickets at the door. VIP tickets are sold out. Sorry. But general admission tickets, they're less than they was when we first started. So you can't get a general admission ticket to the actual book signing itself. But for all the events surrounding our anniversary, it's sold out. It's sold out. Also, if you didn't know, I started a book club. It's called Ebony Paradox, and it is for the genres of fantasy, paranormal, romantasy, horror, thriller, and psychological Afrofuturism and comic books. So, if you would like to join, just send me a DM that says Ebony, and I will send you the link. But I'm going to look at your profile to make sure you read those particular genres, because in that group we have like 4 spreadsheets of authors, that black authors, filled from paranormal all the way to comic books. So if you are an author and you like to be on that spreadsheet, send me a DM with all your paranormal books or your books in those genres, and I'll make sure it gets on the spreadsheet. So once again, thank you guys, and I will see y'all later.